Bestel.
So then,
All right.
here,
Hi. Is,
I'm looking for Chief Mike Bestel, please.
He's not in today.
He's not in today.
well, he's having a party today, isn't he? Is that why everyone's here?
Pardon me?
Isn't that why everyone's here?
Yeah, we were told he wasn't in today. But there's a retirement party for him today, I hear, huh? Starts at 2. What time is it? What time is it?
June 1st at 2 o'clock?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
June 1st at
All right.
2 o'clock. Is
So
Mike
he's-
is Mike Bestel still the chief of police?
Yes.
He is. Okay. But he's not in today.
Not today, no.
Not today. Okay.
So June 1st. I thought it was today, but no big deal. Is there training or something going on?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, maybe you'll be available June 1st then.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you wanted to run down to,
Yeah, here's your papers for the chief, and we'll run down to
Brainerd City Hall.
Brainerd City Hall. Is this everything? So one going,
Both of them go with Jennifer.
both of them go to Jennifer? Okay. I'll walk, dude. I'll just walk. I'll just walk down to City Hall. What's that? 5 blocks. I'm gonna stay live. I'm gonna stay live and walk. Okay, folks. North Central MN Press here, coming at you live from Brainerd. We were just at the Brainerd Police Department attempting to serve Chief Mike Bestel with a summons to appear in civil court for trying to charge people with careless driving for parking legally on South 6th Street. And the chief wasn't in, from what I hear. Most people around here don't even think he's the chief anymore. They think that he's already retired and that John Davis is the chief of the Brainerd Police Department, which I just found out might not be true. And I believe Chief Bestel has been using up a couple months vacation time before he retires here. And the individual I'm with, who is serving these papers or having these papers served against Chief Mike Bestel and the city administrator Jennifer Bergman, we were unable to serve the chief his papers, so now I'm walking, he's driving or traveling. He's not driving, he's traveling down to City Hall here, a few blocks down, about 5 blocks from where we just were at the police station, which is where I filmed a live yesterday, or recorded a live yesterday. I'm headed back to that building. And this I'm doing for a friend I recently met. And I'll tell you why I'm doing it, because he's one of the few with the courage to hold these officers accountable. And what we're doing now is because Mike Bestel wanted to charge individuals with careless driving for parking legally down on South 6th Street. This individual requested all email communications between Mike Bestel and other public officials, anything that had to do with the parking on South 6th, or the incident where he challenged the Brainerd Police Department's practice, or Mike Bestel's orders to charge individuals with careless driving for parking legally down on South 6. So this individual tried to get some public data in the form of email communications between Mike Bestel and any other law enforcement officers or any other public officials regarding this practice of charging people for careless driving for being legally parked. And the individual says it was about 2 months ago he made the data request, and he has received no data. So we just attempted to serve, or I just attempted to serve for him, Chief Mike Bestel. And now I'm walking down here attempting to serve the city administrator, who is the curator of the records, Jennifer Bergman, down here at City Hall. And as you guys know, I just put in a FOIA request down here at City Hall. And as of this morning, I hadn't got a response on that FOIA request, but I just turned it in yesterday. I was looking for the number of applicants for the umpire position with the city of Brainerd, as well as the number of actual umpires hired by the city of Brainerd for the year 2023, because an individual believes that he was retaliated against. You can check out my live from yesterday to get more on that story. However, right now what we're doing is trying to get these civil court summons served to these public officials, because my buddy here is about the only other one. They have a certain number of days 10 days to respond there, Tom. And it's been 2 months and he hasn't heard anything back. And so, do you want to be on? No. All right. We'll head up and see if we can. Yeah, this is all I got, man. This is all I got. I use what I got. I get her done. So now we're going up to try to find Jennifer Bergman.
Hi, Jennifer Bergman, please.
Office upstairs.
Office upstairs. Just next floor up? Okay, thank you.
Yep. That's Park and Rec. I tried to.
Yeah, try to second PC, so. Hide by or whatever.
And we were here yesterday too.
Hi, Jennifer Bergman, please.
Let me see if she's in. 1 minute.
Yeah, I don't go anywhere without it, man. Has to be done if I'm dealing with these guys.
In her office, would you like to leave a message?
Is anyone else around that can accept service for the city?
Accept service.
Yeah.
Please serve. I don't know if there's any department heads. It's 12:45. It's right over lunch break.
Well, let's see, you gotta get your tooth pulled at 2.
I do have to get my tooth pulled at 2.
Yeah, so it makes it difficult to come back.
Well, we can swing.
Accept it, or,
I mean, can you give her a buzz and just say, hey, can we accept service or anything like that?
All right. I mean, I'd rather get it taken care of now, but if we got.
No, if Bergman says it, she'll accept service, that's fine.
All right, cool. We're now in here trying to get these papers served to Jennifer Bergman, the city administrator. I only got one couple people in my life, so it's. I just do this to protect myself, dude. As, you know.
I always record. I just usually just audio record.
Yeah. I like to go live too, because that way if there's snatch your phone. It's already out.
No,
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to maybe tell you about this part that I do this. I will not deal with these people without this camera.
that's fine.
Just won't do
I
it.
mean, I don't mind. You know, it's your
Yeah.
prerogative. I just know that I need to be at PT like right now. So.
Oh yeah. Right now is when your appointment is, isn't it? Shoot.
I guess we can always.
And there's a chance that I don't get it actually pulled today, but I do need to get there in order to make a plan for what to do because I haven't been able to chew out of the right side of my mouth for about couple months. Sucker hurts. But I'm patient, man. I'll be back later this afternoon, tomorrow, then, you know, not tomorrow, it's Saturday, but you know what I mean? Tuesday. I do have another bird or two to kill with this stone, but we'll deal with your stuff today and I can come back next time and
Well, that's
finish.
on the first, apparently. That's when his party is.
Yeah. I'm leaving him alone. My main deal is with the administration here. Now,
She cool with you
I
accepting
spoke
her?
with the HR, yeah, you can leave them with me and I'll make sure the attorney gets them.
Okay. All right.
okay, so you have officially been served and you,
Could I have your name?
Pam?
Pam.
Zimmer?
Pam Zimmer?
Pam Zimmer has officially been served.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
You bet. All right, well, we got,
All right, cool. Well, I gotta run, man. So,
yep.
thank you.
Sounds good. You want me to swing back through and try and catch Bessel? No, it'd be the first. He'd have to, all right.
We'll talk again. I gotta get you a sign service affidavit.
Oh, yes.
But I can't do it now.
You can't do it now. Yep. I remember that when I served the county attorney. Yeah, I remember I had my a relative serve the county attorney for me, and I remember I had to get that service affidavit signed. So, do you have one right on hand, or? Okay. Yep. You want me to give you a shout on my way back through? You want me to give you a shout on my way back through? Sounds good. All right, folks. I hate to be the one that has to do this all the time, but I finally found a guy up here in the Brainerd, Baxter, Crow Wing County area that has the courage to do something about this criminal activity by Brainerd public officials as well as Crow Wing County public officials. I met this guy because he was speaking the other day at a county board meeting, and I liked what he had to say, so I reached out to him, and he responded, and he needed some help serving these papers to the police chief, who's not in right now, as well as the city administrator. And it turns out the administrative assistant, I forget her name already, spoke with the city administrator, who authorized the assistant to accept the service of the papers on the city's behalf or on the city administrator's behalf. So this is not going to be very long because, as I said, I have to go get a tooth checked out or pulled or whatever the heck they're going to do with it today, because this tooth has been killing me for the last couple months. So I'm going to head over and do that. I just want to stay alive until I safely get out of this Brainerd downtown area that's teeming with public officials. There's the old county courthouse there. That's not used as a courthouse, but there are still a few county offices in that building. You got the museum here. You got the sheriff's office. You got community services over here. You got the judicial center or the courthouse. They don't allow cameras in there. I mean, right at the door. Watch this. Watch this. Since I'm here. Watch this stuff. Oh, I didn't catch that, Tom. What was that? Shoot, I can't get. Where's my chat here? All messages visible. Where the heck is my chat? Come on, bring the chat up. Oh, here we go. Got a certain number. Good job. I had one pulled and it was 20 minutes of horror. Oh yeah. Yeah, but a lot of people that I've talked to about having teeth pulled say that they should have done it sooner. So I want to get it done before that sooner comes. The Crow Wing County Jail, this is a new jail. The jail used to be over here, I believe. So this is a new jail. We're gonna walk into the courthouse here. Watch this. This is something I've been meaning to challenge for a while. Prohibited items. You will not be allowed to enter with any of the following items. And this isn't part of the story that I came to cover, but it's kind of part of the overarching theme of things here. You'll not be allowed to enter with any of the following items: electronics, including cell phones, laptops, tablets, smartwatches, cameras, recorders, weapons, flammables, and other. All entering here will pass through security screening. Personal items will be placed in x-ray viewing by deputies. You will pass through a metal detector and or be scanned by a handheld device. You have the right to refuse or stop the screening at any point. So it says cell phones aren't allowed, but it doesn't have a statute tied to it. Let's see. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, yes, no problem. I'm not here to get you. Thank you. You bet. Yeah, not here to get any personal information from anybody. Yep, we'll just let these folks come in with the hood. They don't want to be on camera. That's fine. I'm not here to record them. Anyhows, cell phones and electronic devices are not allowed within the Crow Wing County Judicial Center effective March 1st, 2013. So this practice has been in force for a really long time. Is anybody here seeing like has anyone here seen a law attached? Hey, maybe this guy can help me. No, he can't. He must be busy. Cell phones, electronic devices. There's no law or judge's order or anything attached to this. Hello. Cell phones and electronic devices are not allowed within the Crow Wing County Judicial Center. Well, that certainly can't mean smartwatch not allowed. Not sure, Tom. I mean, that certainly can't mean before the security checkpoint, can it? I don't know. Let's look. Hello, sir. Yes, I was just looking for a statute or a, I'm sorry, what's your name and badge?
Sergeant Chad Paulson, badge 106.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Paulson. I was just looking for a statute or a judge's order or something attached to the electronics policy.
Right there.
Right here, let's take a look at this thing. 9th Judicial District policy regarding the possession and use of electronic and other devices in courtrooms and hearing rooms. It is the policy of the 9th Judicial District that electronic and other devices, the policy of the 9th Judicial District that electronic and other devices, including but not limited to cellular and smartphones, with the following exceptions. The policy, is this a judge's order?
Yep.
And I'm sorry, what was the name again? Chad Paulson?
Yep.
Okay.
And this is the Chief Judge, Tom Rayon, that signed it.
That signed it, and that's is that a 9th District judge?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, she's the Chief Justice of Minnesota. This is for the
Oh.
9th District, this policy.
Oh.
Which that's what it includes Crow Wing.
Okay, so the chief judge is a Minnesota judge or a district judge of
No,
Minnesota?
that's not a district judge, she's down in St. Paul.
Okay, so she's a state judge.
Yes.
And she's the one that ordered this for all of Minnesota, you say?
The 9th Judicial District.
For the 9th Judicial
As far as the other
District.
districts, I don't know what their policies or
Okay,
procedures
okay,
are.
but this is the 9th Judicial District's policy.
Yep.
Okay, and such usage must be done in a non-distracting manner. And now this would be the same as if I was just coming up here and reading it. I mean, just because I have a camera in front of me, that can't be.
You're fine right here,
Oh.
we just don't allow them through the doors past
Yep,
this
I
wall.
just want to see what the law is,
Okay.
and that's all I'm trying to
Not a
do here.
problem.
And while in any courtroom, electronic devices shall be kept muted. So you can have an electronic device in the courtroom, but it just needs to be kept muted. Is that what it's saying?
If you had permission to have a device, you would have to have permission from the judge, which would be a written permission from a district judge.
While in any courtroom, electronic devices shall be kept muted. Isn't that kind of,
If
I
you
thi-
were a pro se defendant representing yourself, and sometimes attorneys need their phones,
yes,
you would, that would be a case of where you would have a phone in the courtroom, but you would have to have that silenced and muted.
okay, shall not be used for data entry retrieval purposes. Shall not be used for audio, video recording, or photographs while in a courtroom, this is, right? So am I breaking the law right now?
You're not within the judicial center yet, so no, you aren't.
Okay, so where does the judicial center start?
Once you break this threshold, you're entering the judicial center.
This door right here?
Yep.
Okay, even prior to security here?
Well, we're not gonna allow you to stand here and record people as they come and go with their business.
Right, I understand, but I'm not doing that. What I'm trying to do is determine what the law is, or what we're, you know.
We don't allow electronic devices like cell phones, tablets in the judicial center unless you're a licensed attorney.
Okay.
Or if you're a pro se litigant,
Okay.
where you're representing yourself as your own attorney.
Uh-huh.
And in that case, you would only be permitted to have your device in the courthouse
Okay,
with a written permission from one of the judges
From-
presiding over that case.
from the judge presiding over that case, okay. And then in that case, if that is the case, while you're in the courtroom, electronic devices shall be kept muted, so you have to have it muted while you're in there, even if you get permission, is that correct?
That is correct.
And shall be used only for data entry or retrieval purposes, so no audio or video recording with them.
Correct.
And that is if you get permission from the judge
That is correct.
in order to, okay.
Yep.
Okay, and now that's talking about while in a courtroom.
Yep.
Okay, so this is not a courtroom here.
It is not, but the courtrooms are an extension of this building. The other thing that we look at within Crow Wing County is we have protected victims of crimes, sex assaults,
Sure.
domestic violence, people with protected identities.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of the purpose of not allowing devices like that in the building is so people can go about their business.
Sure. Can we
without
move?
being recorded.
Sure. Can we move right over here so we don't bother anyone? Okay. So that makes sense that you'd want to protect. Now, as far as the judge's order, though, the judge's order just says courtrooms, correct?
Correct.
Right. And so what gives the Crow Wing County Sheriff the authority to expand that judge's order to include the entire building?
That's the policy that the Crow Wing County Sheriff's Office has had since this building was built.
Okay, so that,
We're in charge of the security and safety of the building.
Sure.
And what we're trying to do is, again, we're preventing disruptions of people coming and going about their business.
sure,
People with protected identities.
Uh-huh.
And there's also been instances where people have stood out in hallways and recorded hearings from out in the hallway.
sure,
So that's another reason we don't allow them in. You may not be necessarily in the courtroom physically, but if you're standing just outside recording,
sure.
that creates other issues.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. What law allows the Crow Wing County Sheriff to expand the judge's order to include more than the courtrooms?
We've had this prior to the judge's order. We just don't allow the electronic devices in the building. That's the way that we're gonna run the security of this building.
Sure.
And we've incorporated that since this building was built.
Sure, and now, I understand that you're able to enforce the law, okay? Policy and law are two separate things, and so I'm just wondering what law gives you the ability to do that. I know a policy says you can, but what law gives you the ability to expand?
Well, like the signs say, inside and outside the building, you have the right to refuse any part of the screening process. It's just like TSA, you have the right to refuse, you're just not gonna be allowed entrance.
You're not going to be allowed entrance.
No.
Okay, but that's TSA. That'd be private, right? Is that a private organization?
Well, the airport's a public building.
A public building. Okay. So now, if we went to Walmart's and Walmart said, "Well, we don't allow electronics in the building," well, they would be able to enforce that because they're a private organization. But you guys are a public organization. You're the Crow Wing County Sheriff Law Enforcement, so you enforce law and not policy. But here, the Crow Wing County Sheriff appears to be enforcing policy and not actual law by expanding that judge's order to include more than just the courtrooms.
Well, if you push the envelope, you probably could be charged with obstructing legal process.
How so?
You're not following a lawful order that you can't bring a cell phone in the building. That's our policy.
It's a policy order. It's not a lawful order. It's a policy.
We're still not going to allow phones in the building. Like I
Per
said,
policy, not per law, not per
Correct.
law.
Yeah.
So if it's not per law, how would you charge an individual with a crime if it's not law? It's just simply
We're just not going to allow you in the building, sir. If you want to stand at the screening point and refuse to check your cell phone, then you're just not going to be allowed access into the building.
per policy.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the law? What about per law? You said you could be arrested for obstructing.
You could potentially be charged for obstructing.
You could,
That would be up to the county attorney's office.
okay, for not complying with the policy or not complying with the law, because the only,
Refusing to follow the directives as posted on the signs.
the policy,
Correct.
even though you might be law abiding, because you're not policy abiding, is the reason that you'd be arrested.
Well, again, that would be something the county attorney would decide.
That the county attorney, but you as the sheriff would have to make
But
the
we're in charge of the safety and security of this building.
Sure.
And we've talked to the judges about it.
Uh-huh.
And they are all on board with the way we are following through with things.
Okay.
So they can go about their business in a private manner without being recorded.
Sure, but
Because in today's day and age too, there's also people that make recordings that will edit them. So it's not a true representation of what could possibly be happening. So
Right,
that's another
right.
reason we don't allow the phones in the
right.
building.
And for one thing, I don't know how to edit.
Okay, I'm not saying.
Like
that
when
you
I
don't.
edit,
I'm
you're
just
right,
saying
right,
past practice, people
Right.
can cut and chop things to make it look however it is.
Sure. I hear what you're saying. Do you hear what I'm saying as far as now? It wouldn't be the judge's tail on the line. It wouldn't be anyone's tail on the line. It would be your tail on the line for making an unlawful arrest.
I'm not saying you're gonna be arrested on the spot, so I'm saying you could potentially be charged with obstructing legal process. We would do a report, send it to the county attorney. If they deem that there's enough to pursue charges, that would be the case.
So what would happen if I just staying out of any courtroom or hearing room areas?
You're not gonna get past the screening point. We're not gonna allow the phone in the building.
So you would I mean, what would happen if I did attempt to walk through the screening process with the phone?
You're not gonna come in the building with the phone, sir.
Will it be would it be escalated to physical force at that time?
No, we try to avoid physical confrontation at all costs.
Okay. But if someone just simply wasn't complying and still tried to enter the building with the cell phone recording, would you have the authority to, if they just simply weren't complying, to go hands-on and physically stop them or remove them or for having the cell phone past security or attempting to get past security with the cell phone?
That depends on the demeanor of the person and what they do towards us.
Would you say that I'm fairly respectful and that I'm just...
Yeah, I've been very respectful.
Okay.
I think I've been respectful back.
I think so too. And so I do appreciate that. I just, we have the sheriff saying, well, it's the judge's order
Well, we have a judge's order for the courtroom, and like I said, the sheriff
for the courtroom.
is responsible for safety and security on the campus. And in this building, and even prior to me taking over supervising this building, it's always been the position of the sheriff's office that electronic devices will not be allowed in, unless under the circumstances that I gave you.
Well,
Now, the only other aspect, if you need your phone for a particular purpose, you could let us know. We could reach out to a judge
Sure.
and explain to them why you need the phone.
Sure.
And then in that case, they could potentially give us their opinion on what their thoughts are.
Sure. So if a defendant came in here and a judge said, no, you can't, then the defendant is just screwed. They can't bring
Correct.
their
Correct.
defense.
They have to provide a reason to the judge why they need their phone.
Sure,
So
sure.
for instance, on a like attorneys or even pro se defendants,
Uh-huh.
a lot of times they will look up state law on their phones by using Google. They'll go into the Minnesota Revised of Statutes
Yep.
website, get applicable information that they may need for their case. That's an example of why they might need a cell phone for those purposes.
Sure, sure. Back to your job though, I heard you say that you are in charge of security for the building.
Correct.
I thought that the county sheriff was in charge of enforcing the law, not to act as private security.
We can set security measures for the building.
Uh-huh.
And if you have more questions on that, about why, I mean, you can certainly walk across the street and talk. I mean, the sheriff, the chief deputy, the captain, both lieutenants are in today.
Sheriff Eric Klang is in today?
Correct. And Chief Deputy Andy Bradley, Captain Adam Cronstead.
Sure,
They are all across the street.
Okay.
They might be able to even elaborate more than I can.
Okay.
I'm merely following
Following orders.
what I'm supposed to do.
Following orders, okay. So not necessarily the law that you're upholding, you're just following the policy and the orders.
Correct.
Okay, do you see anything wrong with that?
No,
No?
we have not had any, we've had a few people come in like yourself and
Uh-huh.
question why, and once we've explained, they've had a better hadn't been an issue or hasn't been an issue for those people.
Sure, I'm still not understanding is the thing though. My question is what statutes or judge's order gives you the authority to expand that judge's order to include the entire building?
Like I said, it's looked at as the courtrooms are an extension of the building, and things can happen outside of the courtroom.
Sure.
While still focused on what's going on in the courtroom.
Sure. And now, but the problem is sure, I could run across the street and go talk to Sheriff Eric Klang, who I've spoken with many times. I'm
He's a good man.
of any law enforcement officer around, I've spoke with him the most, and I've actually, at one time, not anymore, but at one time I've actually felt comfortable enough with him to speak without recording. Since then, once he lost some trust, I record all of my interactions with all public officials.
Okay.
Just
I'm recording you right now too.
Okay, so you have body cam.
It's not on this
Excellent.
entire conversation.
Excellent. I just want to make it clear so that I have standing in court, that if I were to try to get through that security checkpoint with this phone while recording, that you would arrest me,
You could potentially be charged.
potentially be charged.
And here's the whole thing. If you refuse to abide by what we have set for rules coming into the building, you're just not gonna be allowed entrance past the security checkpoint.
The rules or
The
the,
phone is not gonna come in, okay?
sure. So you're saying that I would be, but see, I don't think your understanding is because I need standing for court, okay? So potentially be arrested for obstructing, that's not what I'm talking about right now, because it's still unclear to me. It's still unclear to me that if I were to attempt to walk through that security checkpoint with this phone, even though I'm nowhere near a courtroom or hearing room, it's unclear to me what would happen. And so I think I have a right to know what would happen if I were to, I don't want to actually do it and all of a sudden end up on the ground and tased and doing the crappie flop,
You don't wanna do that at all.
And especially since I would not resist arrest if I did that. I mean, if I walked through here and you said I was under arrest, I would not resist. There would be no reason to harm me or hurt me, you know what I mean? Because I would not resist arrest, even if the arrest was unlawful, which at that point I believe it would be.
And I appreciate your questions. I don't know if I'm fully communicating to you what you're looking for, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call one of my supervisors over
Okay,
to talk to you.
okay. What time is it? Do you know?
It is 1:10 p.m.
I didn't come down here for this reason today. I was actually at taking care of a couple of Brainerd City issues, but I just happened to be walking past. And so as I was narrating to my audience here, I was just like, oh yes, and here is the judicial center where the Crow Wing County Sheriff, via policy and not actually law, or judge's order, they're expanding the judge's order to include the entire judicial center. Now, the judge's order I'm not challenging. I will not bring an electronic device anywhere near a courtroom or hearing room. So I'm not challenging the judge's order right now. I'm challenging the sheriff's practice of expanding that order to include the entire.
I understand, and I've tried to explain to you as best as I could.
Okay.
There's people in here that are attending to legal matters. There are some people that come in that are on probation. There are some people that come in for drug testing for work-related purposes.
Sure, but that wouldn't be an individual like myself's fault. I wouldn't.
No, but we're trying to make sure, I mean, those people aren't gonna like to be recorded.
Sure.
Not saying that you would be doing that.
Sure.
But if there is somebody that's looking to potentially do that, that can create issues, and now we would have confrontations with the person recording.
Sure.
And the person that's in here trying to go about their business.
Sure. I'll be honest with you. I don't like to be recorded. You know what I mean? I can totally understand people not wanting to be recorded. I mean,
especially without their permission.
Sure.
I mean, that's one of the other conflicts that we're trying to avoid.
Well,
and the other thing I've said too is we have certain people in here that have a protected status as victims of crimes.
Sure.
We're trying to prevent intimidation by maybe
Sure.
whoever the defendant would be of that victim.
Sure, but don't you think by enforcing this policy that's not even law, that you're kind of calling everyone a criminal before they even committed
I'm not calling anybody a criminal. I'm just saying we're trying to prevent confrontation amongst people.
Sure. By restricting the public's right to record in public, I guess that.
You can record in public. No one's saying you can't record.
Well, this is public.
We're just not allowing you past this security checkpoint, and I've explained the reasons why we have that in place. That's the most I can tell you. I mean, if you have the time, I can certainly call one of my supervisors over, sir.
Okay,
It's literally just a walk across the street for them, and they'd be here within about 2 minutes.
Oh, I know they would be. I know. I know. They're right over.
Do you want me to? Because I don't think I can explain any better to you.
I tell you what, since I didn't come down for this reason, and I'm kind of in a hurry, I'm gonna pass on that for now.
Okay.
However, I'm sure that Sheriff Eric Klang will see this video, but what I'm concerned with is that are you a sergeant?
I am.
You are. So
I
that.
supervise the court security transport division.
Okay, and so that's my concern, is that you as a sergeant are enforcing this policy right now. You know what I mean? When there is no law or judge's order backing up what you're doing here, and so that's on you. That's not on your supervisor.
Okay. But I'm trying to offer you another way to have it explained even better to you, sir.
Well, sure. But if I chose not to wait for your supervisor and I chose to walk in there right now, it would be you that's held responsible, not your supervisor.
Correct.
Yes. And so I'm actually doing you a favor by leaving right now, and the only reason I'm doing that is because I have other places to be, and I didn't come down for that reason.
Okay. No, I appreciate your honesty, and I appreciate your questions.
Yeah, and this is not the first time I've been down here challenging this policy or this practice by the Crow Wing County Sheriff.
Come on, sir.
Yep, it's
Do you have any idea what supervisor you would have spoke to last?
Yes, Andy Bradley.
Andy Bradley?
Yes, yep. And so he actually threatened to tackle me if I were to attempt to go through that security answer.
That I'm not sure. I wasn't here at the time.
Yep. And of course, I wasn't.
How long ago was that, sir?
Oh, that was just about a year ago, maybe 11 months or so ago. And so I wasn't recording at the time. Now, after that happened, I started recording everything. See?
Nope, and that's why we do the same thing.
Yep.
Cameras, so that's the first thing we do.
Yep, you bet. Well,
it's always good to have the documentation and the public contact. So.
Sure. I'm going to let you off the hook this time, Deputy Paulson. I'm sorry, what was that badge number again?
106.
106. Okay, I just want you to remember your oath to uphold the U.S. Constitution, and the U.S. Constitution, the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, gives us freedom of press. Okay, so I'm a journalist, all right? And this is a public building that the taxpayers pay for. This is not a private Walmart. You know what I mean? It's a public building And we the people, have no problem with you enforcing the law in this building. What we the people have a problem with you doing is unlawfully expanding the judge's order to include the entire building when the judge's order clearly doesn't say the entire building. We don't want you enforcing policy or what could happen, because that's not what you are. You're not a policy enforcer. You're a law enforcement officer. Does that make sense at all?
It does.
Okay. I'm gonna let you off the hook. Might be a good idea. You guys will see this, you know.
Well, the information that you brought up, I will bring to my superiors, and we will probably talk to the judges and the county attorney.
Sure,
To
and
get some of their legal guidance and feedback on the information you provide.
sure, and with all due respect, Sergeant Paulson, I have challenged this more than once,
Okay.
and nothing ever comes about it. I have other journalists that I know have challenged it as well.
Well, I will certainly look to see what I can do to run it to the powers that be.
Sure.
And see if something needs to get reworded or changed.
Sure. I just know that we're not going to forget about the Crow Wing County enforcing policy instead of law over here in the Judicial Center. We're just not going to forget about it. We'll just keep coming back and challenging until something gives, you know. And that's not a threat. It just okay. So we just don't want our rights violated anymore because they're already violated enough out here. You know what I mean? I appreciate your time. Thank you for being so cordial.
You have a good, I have no reason not to be cordial to you.
Yeah.
You're cordial to me, so-
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm gonna let you off the hook. If I had more time, I would continue this right now. You know what I mean? Because this has been going on for a year now that I've been.
Well, actually, it's been going on for
Right,
quite a long period,
but
not just the past year,
right,
but I know you're-
but I've only been challenging it for about the past 11 months or so, and I've challenged it more than once, via email with, Sheriff Klang, in person 2 or 3 times, you know.
What is your name, sir, so if I haven't talked to the sheriff?
I would like to remain anonymous because honestly, sir, I'm afraid of retaliation because the public officials in the city of Brainerd and the county of Crow Wing, like to retaliate against people for exercising their rights. And so I'd rather actually not give my name. But if you talk to Sheriff Klang about it, he'll know who I am, you know what I mean? So I encourage you to do that. And of course, you'll I'm sure be made aware of this video when it becomes available. So, all right? Thank you. Appreciate it. Yep, you bet. You too. Thank you. All right, folks. Sorry, I got kind of sidetracked there. We had a little discussion with Sergeant Paulson with the Crow Wing County Sheriff's Office regarding the County Judicial Center unlawfully enforcing policy. No cell phones inside the entire building when the judge's order clearly says no electronics in the courtroom. Okay, and so I've been dealing with that for the last 11 months or so. Can't seem to get anywhere, and other journalists I know have also been dealing with that. So we're gonna leave that alone for now because I gotta go get this tooth pulled. Oh, there we got a sheriff right over here. Hello. Hello, coming out of the sheriff's office. Hello. I mean, we gotta... I'm just happy that I found somebody that has the courage to actually do something about these crimes that are being committed. The friend I just met just attempted to serve Chief Mike Bestel with a summons to appear in civil court. And the lawsuit's been filed already regarding charging people with careless driving for legally parking on South 6th Street. And then this friend of mine FOIA requested all of the communication regarding that issue, regarding the practice of issuing citations for careless driving for parking. I mean, it's careless driving for parking legally on South 6th Street. And so he also filed suit against the city administrator who has been withholding that public data for the past couple months. So that's what we're doing here in Brainerd today. So we were pretty much dealing with the city, the city police department, as well as the city administrator. But I figured since I was live on the air and walking through here, and you guys have heard me talk about it before, I would swing into the judicial center there, the courthouse, and see, there's a difference between a courthouse and a courtroom, and they don't even call it a courthouse anymore. They call it a judicial center. So it's a county judicial center, not just courtrooms, which is where the judge has authority, is in the courtrooms. I just thought I'd stop in there and challenge the unlawful practice of disallowing electronics in the entire judicial center as opposed to just the courtrooms. I wasn't even there to challenge the judge's order. I was there to challenge the sheriff's unlawful practice or policy of expanding that order to include the entire building. But that's for another day, because I gotta go get this tooth. And now we're back where we started here, the Brainerd Police Department. But I'm not going back in here. Just walking back to my automobile. And I like to keep the thing running just in case there's any retaliation, because these city and county officials love to retaliate against people exercising their rights. So I'm gonna keep this bad boy running until I get my automobile started and I'm ready to put it into drive. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. I lost nobody's commented for a while here. Lost the comments. Here we go. Smartwatch not allowed. I doubt it, Tom. Well, that comment was a while ago. Got 5 people left on the live here. 6 likes. That's pretty standard, you know, until the live. That's about what I've been getting the last few lives that I've ran. This is my 3rd live. However, it's my 3rd live in the last 3 weeks or so. So I still don't have I'm still not very good with technology. But there you have it, folks. Our little trip through the city of Brainerd, and we got a chance to speak with the sergeant with the sheriff's office regarding the unlawful policy or practice of disallowing electronics in the judicial center. So I hope you enjoyed it. We killed a couple birds with that stone, and now I am gonna head out and get my tooth drilled on or worked on here because it's killing me. So thanks for watching, folks. Be sure to smash the like button, leave a comment. The best information or the best ideas I get come from you viewers. There's some things that I don't even think about, especially while I'm right in the heat of the moment, such as yesterday well, yes, it was yesterday. I forgot to get well, I'm not gonna divulge too much information. I'm gonna cut it off there, but I get a lot of good advice and a lot of good perspectives from the comment section, and it lets me know, you know, that you're here supporting, and I really appreciate that. That's what gives me motivation, and that's what provides the courage for me to do what I do here, is the support from you guys. So I'm gonna let you get back to, hey Pinky, sup? You missed her. You'll have to catch the replay. Thanks for showing up, man. You're always showing up. I love it. We're going on 49 minutes. I got to go get a tooth pulled, so I'm going to cut it off here, and we'll hope to see you in the comments section on the replay there. All right, have a good one.